Riptide is the next biggest Smash tournament taking place, and it actually kicks off the day that I'm dropping this video. And this is of course everyone's favorite water park tournament featured at the Kalahari Resort in Ohio, RIP to Harambe. And I mean, I guess there's also Low Tide City, which is kind of exactly the same thing as Riptide, but in Texas. But today we're focusing on Riptide 2023 and what to look forward to seeing this weekend. Now I want to preface this by saying that we've been pretty fortunate in the last few weeks when it comes to Smash. All the big tournaments lately have had some pretty entertaining top 8s to watch, and they've all featured at least a few of your favorite players and a few people that you probably didn't expect to see there, and then at least a couple players that you probably didn't want to watch. Looking at the list of attendees for Riptide, there's definitely some big name talents there despite the best players not being there. Obviously right away you're going to see that there's no Tweak, there's no Light, there's no Spargo, MK Leo, but what you do probably notice is that there's still a few players on this list that are able to contend with anybody. Most notably is of course Mutace, followed up by Apollo Kage, Aaron, Chase, who's been making some big moves lately, Lima, Goblin, and of course Pocket? Wait, who even is that? Oh, okay, that makes sense. In all seriousness, any of these players could take the whole tournament, but I think even outside of the top 100 ranked players, there's definitely some players to look out for at this event. Looking at the list of big name players at this event, there's definitely some character specialists that not everyone is going to be familiar with, but I believe that these players can use that to their advantage to change the entire outcome of this tournament. And out of the list of attendees, there's two players that I see doing just that. Right out the gate is Candle, one of the top Olimar players in North America. If you've never heard of them before, they've definitely been on the come up as of recently. Just go on YouTube, look them up, and you'll see that they've played a lot of sets against some really good players. A lot of those players are actually attending Riptide, and then there's also like Ouch they played against, and Ned. Unfortunately, a lot of those sets did end in close Game 5 losses, but obviously you must have put in the work to get that far in the bracket to begin with. For Riptide, Candle is the 21st seed and is projected to lose against both Peanut and Zenodo, but I believe that Candle is going to pull off the upset against Peanut. Olimar versus Little Mac is an interesting matchup because even though Little Mac is able to kill Olimar so early, Olimar can just zone out Little Mac pretty much all day, and especially on a stage with platforms. If Candle does manage to beat Peanut, that would put them up against Aaron, who's obviously going to be a tough opponent. Now that being said, Olimar has done historically well against Diddy, I would say, and the last few times Aaron has faced good Olimars, he's kind of struggled. I believe that Candle has the potential to win this one as well, which will put them in top 16 up against Chase. And honestly, if Candle makes it this far in top 16 winner side, this is a dream position to be in. Because if you're Candle and you beat Chase, you're obviously in winner side top 8, and even if you lose, you're projected to play against Icy Mist for top 8. And let me tell you, Icy Mist is a Samus main, and Samus versus Olimar might be one of the worst matchups for any character in this game. And that's exactly why you see players like Siski, who are dedicated Samus mains, instantly pick a character like Incineroar or just anybody else as soon as they see Olimar. I think if Candle pulls off the upset against Peanut and Aaron, that's almost a guaranteed top 8 for them. Now I know that I mentioned earlier there's a lot of character specialists in this bracket, and that's because there is, but realistically only 8 people can make top 8. Obviously I have Mutace making top 8 winner side, and I also have Onin and more than likely Chase making top 8 on the winner side. Loser side top 8 is always going to be a toss-up, but I think for sure Candle is going to take one of those spots. But I want to focus on that last remaining winner side top 8 spot, which is currently projected to be Apollo Kage. And while I do think AK is going to make top 8, I do think it's going to be through the loser side. And not because Goblin is the one beating. That's right, the tournament in Ohio, the land of Harambe, RIP, the famous gorilla statue at the venue, it just all makes too much sense. Again, ChunkyKong is a player that has been on the come up as of late, and this dude is a lab rat. For the longest time, I didn't even follow him on Twitter, but every day I would see some kind of impractical DK tech on my feed, except that this dude actually pulls this kind of stuff off in bracket. Chunky is projected to lose to AK right before top 16, but I have Chunky pulling off the impossible, the biggest upset of the event, not only just by beating AK, but also going through Goblin to make top 8 winner side. Now I know what you're probably thinking, this matchup is atrocious for DK, and you would be correct in thinking that, but there's just something that leads me to believe that ChunkyKong is going to pull off the impossible this weekend and beat AK. And if he does that, he's beating Goblin. And I'll go ahead and admit it, Candle's upset alert is based on logic, while ChunkyKong's is kind of more of an emotional pick. I just kind of have a feeling that ChunkyKong is going to pull off the impossible, but I do think that both players are going to make some surprises this weekend no matter how the bracket shakes out. We know for sure that most of the top seeds are going to find their way into top 8, but we can also expect to see the unexpected for at least 1 or 2 of those top 8 slots. And I believe that ChunkyKong and Candle are going to do just that and fill those slots in top 8 at Riptide this year. I could be completely wrong, maybe both of these players aren't even going to make top 32, but just something about it, I feel like these two players are going to have great runs at this event and they're going to make top 8. But that being said, I want to know what your crazy predictions are, so let me know in the comments below of your crazy predictions for the weekend at Riptide. I'm definitely looking forward to watching some high-level gameplay throughout the weekend, and I'm excited to watch some sets from players that I typically don't get to watch. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see my recap of the event after it's over, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The countdown to 10,000 subs continues, and we're just about 3,600 subscribers away from hitting the big big goal for this year. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Other than that, I've got nothing else for you today, so I'll catch you in the next one.